All right, welcome to today's Q&A. We're talking trucking jobs here at Decker Truck Line. What's available? Why drive for Decker? And what Decker brings to the table. So we're going to talk about truck driving jobs currently available here at Decker. If you have any questions, this is a Q&A. So if you have questions, put your questions in the chat, and I'll be answering them as they come in. If you're wondering about a specific area, really the easiest way to do that is if you can give me your zip code or your city and state, but more specifically your zip code, and I can tell you what we have available in the area, what the job requirements are, what the pay is, if you can tell me how much experience you have. So that's kind of how the format of these Q&As go, so that I can answer them for you. And of course, when it comes to equipment, we can talk about equipment details, amenity details, and benefits as well. So usually we're in the fourth quarter. So usually around the fourth quarter, we start hearing if there's going to be any changes to any benefits coming up at the beginning of the year. As of now, I don't have any changes, but the last several that we've had have been fantastic changes. We love to see more and more benefits for our drivers. So here, actually, it was the third quarter, we introduced the $0 brand and some specialty drugs for the part of the prescription program. So if you want more details on that, feel free to reach out to us. You can get a hold of any of our recruiters at 877-433-2537, and we can dive into answering more of your questions about those benefits. But that was one of the most recent changes to our benefits. We've just stacked on more to that, so we absolutely love it. At the end of last year, we added the $0 generic. So yes, you are seeing more savings and everything coming about for you. So again, if you have more questions, reach out to the recruiting department, and we'll dive deeper into that in here in just a minute. It is National Technician Week. So for all of our professional drivers who have a support system of shop technicians and among many others, safety of course, and operations and everything, but you've got those techs. Those techs are keeping you running, keeping those trucks running smoothly. For all of those out there, we would like to wish you a happy National Technician Week. And in honor of National Technician Week, we are going to be we have some celebrations, right? So we will be celebrating. Hopefully you guys will be able to jump in on some of those celebrations. And when I'm talking celebrations, I'm talking food. Why not? So we'll be having lunch in Fort Dodge on Wednesday. There'll be pizza on Wednesday, and there'll be a cookout on Friday. So if you are in the Fort Dodge area, for all of our professional drivers here at Decker Truck Line, please make sure that you go in and grab something in there too, because I'm sure there'll be some for you. Des Moines will have breakfast on the grill, and Friday there will be steak sandwiches on the grill. So the Des Moines is making use of the grill there on both Wednesday and Friday. Bessemer will be serving Chick-fil-A on Wednesday and pizza on Friday. That sounds delicious. Every chance we get to have a little Chick-fil-A, my family's running towards it. Missoula, Wednesday, pizza, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Friday. Good deal. That sounds delicious as well. Hammond is having a cookout. I love me some cookouts. So, cookout on Wednesday, Friday, some pizza, and mixing in some pizza at Minneapolis as well. And Friday, there'll be a special takeout. So, look forward to those. So that is to celebrate our maintenance technicians, our National Technician Week here, which will go from, it actually started yesterday, the 24th, not yesterday, Sunday, the 24th. 24th through the 30th is National Technician Week, part of the ATA. So, we'll also have drawings. Yes, we have several drawings we'll have Decker Truck Line tumblers. I just went and washed mine, so you can't see it, but we have Decker Truck Line tumblers. We have Decker Truck Line t-shirts. We have 4 $250 gift cards that will be drawn for, and 2 $500 gift cards that will be drawn for. So if you get a chance to check those out. I'm pretty sure Corey won one of those $500 gift cards last year, so he's probably got his eye on that again this year. I don't know. All right. Well, again, let's congratulate all of our technicians and all that they do. Thanks you guys for taking care of all of our drivers and keeping them safe. We appreciate that, of course. This week we also had we're recognizing some of our awards for the 2023 IMTA, the conference and the gala. We had several nominations this last week for the year. There we go. We had several who were representing Decker, and I would like to give a shout out to Ryan Hill, Jimmy Mitchell, Shannon Armstrong, Lyle Turville, Anthony Vasquez, Faith Warden. Faith Warden was the 2023 IMTA Leadership Program graduate representing us. Matt Lynch, Rick George, and Tammy O'Toole. I'd like to give a shout out to each one of those as they were nominated. They were representing the different departments as well. So Tammy was representing Decker on behalf of the Image Award, the IMTA Image Award. Rick George for the Great West Casualty Fleet Safety Award. Matt Lynch for the Fleet Maintenance Program. Again, we appreciate everybody that was able to attend. The nominees for the Fleet Maintenance Professional of the Year was Ryan Hill, and Professional Dispatcher of the Year nominee was Jimmy Mitchell. I'm very proud to see that. Jimmy, I have learned, has had the last 5, is that right? Last 5 Driver of the Year in the over-the-road flatbed division. Yeah, so he has been the driver manager for the last 5. Pretty impressive. All right, Shannon Armstrong, 5 out of the last 6, I should say. Shannon Armstrong was our Safety Advocate of the Year nominee. Lyle Turville, our Master Truck Driver of the Year nominee. Anthony Vasquez was our Outstanding Professional Driver of the Year nominee. And again, Faith was our IMTA recent graduate. So congratulations to each of you guys who represented us well. I actually have a picture I can show you there as well. And from left to right, or at least my left to right here, you'll see Tammy O'Toole. Actually, if we go towards the back here, we've got Matt Lynch, Ryan Hill, Anthony Vasquez, Rick George, and Dale Decker. And then in front there is Tammy O'Toole, Lyle Turville, Shannon Armstrong, and Jimmy Mitchell. So thanks you guys for being there for all you do, first of all, and of course representing us well at the IMTA Awards. All right, it was also the payday yesterday for our bonus week. Yes, it sure has, Jimmy. Yeah, so yesterday was our payout. We have a monthly bonus. We actually have a couple monthly bonuses. There's the scorecard bonus, and then we have our safety bonus. This safety bonus is a reflection of your safety score, anything below 20 or below with the safety score. And we'll be diving more into that as that how that has adjusted with our new safety system as well for everybody. So if you guys have questions on that, feel free to reach out to us, but we'll be diving more into that system here very soon as well. But those of you who received a perfect score, we had quite a few perfect scores yet again. I think between the safety bonus and the scorecard bonus, we had almost 50%. I think we were actually at 48% of our fleet who earned one or the other or both of them. So congratulations to all of you who earned those bonuses. Now that safety bonus is an extra penny per mile paid out on all miles that you completed for that previous month. So what paid out yesterday was all the miles, was the safety bonus and the scorecard bonus for all the miles for the month of August. And then with the scorecard bonus, the scorecard has scoring for different criteria. We have idle time and fuel compliance. Those two criteria are not counted within the lease purchase and the owner-operator divisions, but they are counted on the company side. So again, that's the fuel bonus or the fuel compliance and the idle time. Then you've got miles, you've got CSA violations or CSA scores, preventable accidents is another. You have service claims, driver service claims, or service failures, and then you've got claims, property claims, and then, I already named off miles. So those are the 7 criteria that we have for our scorecard. And each of them are weighed a little bit differently. We have the CSA violations the CSA violations, the preventable accidents are 200 apiece for the weigh, and we have 1,000-point total. So if you picture this, you got your 1,000-point total here. This is the top tier that we want. Miles are going to be 150 of this. Preventable accidents are going to be 200. CSA violations 200. Service claims are going to be worth 100. We have service failures, and then claims will be worth 100 as well. Both the fuel compliance, there we go. Fuel compliance is worth 50, and then 200 points as well for the idle time. So 200. Yep, that should be 1,000 if I'm counting right. If I've got all my fingers and toes counting things, that should be 1,000 points. So anything that is 1,000 points on the company side would pay out 4 cents a mile, 3 cents a mile on all the dispatch miles for loaded and empty on the company or on the lease purchase and the owner operator side. And anything that is from 900 to or 950 up to just under 1,000, that would pay out 3 cents a mile for the company side, and again on all completed miles. Anything from 9 to 950 would put you, or technically 949, would put you at a 2 cent per mile payout, and you get a penny payout for anything over 9 or 825 to 900 on all of those. So congratulations again to all of those who received bonuses for our scorecard and our scorecard and our safety bonus. Now those are the 2 monthly bonuses. Yes, we do have a sign-on bonus currently available for all of those who are experienced drivers who are looking to come aboard to Decker. You'll have to talk to one of the recruiters to get more details on that, but it is available to drivers with experience. So experienced drivers are drivers who have at least 6 months of tractor-trailer experience, over-the-road tractor-trailer experience, and it's currently a $2,000 bonus. Pays out on first dispatch, so your first settlement, and then you have first settlement, and then after 60 days, 90 days, and 180 days, you'll have $500 installments on each one of those. So again, that's a $2,000 sign-on bonus. For details on that, feel free to reach out to the recruiting department, but that's pretty much it there. And the different positions that we have available do have different structures as well, different minimum pays. And the minimum pays, by the way, I know in the trucking industry you're used to the cents per mile, and that's fantastic, but we have the cents per mile with a safety net on it here at Decker. So if you need details on that, get ready, I'm going to tell you. The details on the minimum pay are basically you need to be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. So at least 5 days out of the work week. In the work week, with refrigerated, it can go into the weekend for those of you who are counting that, where flatbed is usually coming home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning and back out Sunday night or a Monday morning. So oftentimes there isn't as much freight running in flatbed on a Saturday, Sunday as there would be in the refrigerated division. So be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals to qualify for that minimum pay. And now if any of these 6 criteria are not met, then you'd revert back to the cents per mile. That said, you can still earn the cents per mile if the number of miles that you run and your cents per mile exceeds that minimum pay. Either way, you're going to get the better of the two, and that's the whole goal of it, is to make sure that you are maximizing your pay and you have that safety net there for you. So you can budget a little bit easier, right? So be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads, at least on your side. If it's a customer delay, that's a different story. but no driver service failures. No CSA points for the week, no preventable accidents for the week. Now, all of this criteria, including getting your paperwork in on time, which is the sixth and final criteria that must be met, the cutoff for paperwork is Tuesday night, which is tonight. So if you have any questions on it, please reach out to your driver manager, or if you're looking to come aboard to Decker and want more details on it, then I suggest you get a hold of one of your recruiters. 877-433-2537. That's the telephone number, and you can get a hold of them and get specifics on that. But those are the requirements for the minimum pay. And again, like I said, if you fail to meet one of those within that week, within that pay period, then you'll revert back to your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run. But again, that payout could exceed that minimum pay anyway. You're going to get the better of the two. But that's there to protect you. Just need to have at least those 6 requirements. So where we see that minimum pay coming quite handy is in the winter months when weather starts to become a factor, more so a factor. If you have, if you're down because of maybe a customer canceled a load, or there's additional maintenance that needs to be done on your truck and it's taking additional time. Things like that are scenarios that we've seen the minimum pay come in handy. If for some reason you didn't get the miles, like I said, because of maintenance or weather, or a load was refused, or they changed the loads on us or something like that, those are all reasons that minimum pay can kick in and protect you, financially protect you. So so there's that. That's the minimum pay, another benefit of being here at Decker. In addition to, I kind of jumped from the initial benefits, answering that first question, back to the requirements and everything. So when it comes to the rest of the benefits here at Decker, we do have Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan, and it starts after 60 days. I mentioned the $0 generic prescription, the $0 brand name, and specialty prescription opportunities as well. For more details, just reach out to us. We have a pamphlet that will actually explain a lot of it for you. And it's pretty plain and simple. You look up the prescription that you're on and see if it qualifies for that $0, and you're able to utilize that. Again, that was a huge win on the part of our benefits coordinator to be able to offer, to bring that to the table, to be able to offer that to you guys, both for our professional drivers and then all of the supporting staff, all of the rest of us as well. So if you need more details on that, we do have a pamphlet, actually a whole brochure that will provide the details on that. It'll also break down deductibles and coverage, whether it be dental and vision, what the 401k is. The 401k, by the way, is a 50% match. It's also available after 60 days, and it's through Principal Financial. And then we have, we continue to increase these benefits as well. So if you're looking for updates, usually we're going to see updates towards the end of the fourth quarter, and we'll provide those to you as they come in. So keep your eyes open for those, if you would. Amenities. The truck amenities are full force, I tell you what. I don't know if you've seen our trucks out there, but we have mostly the 579 Peterbilts. They're absolutely gorgeous trucks. Yes, we have some Volvos, and yes, we have some Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. I do want to put out there, though, that the Peterbilts are the majority of our trucks, which often is the case for what people are looking for. Most people who are looking to come aboard to Decker, they've got their eyes on those Peterbilts, and for good reason. You see them all over the place. But for those of you who are looking for a Volvo and a Freightliner, I do want to let you know that we have them. I wouldn't be able to guarantee you them when you first come aboard. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't get it, but it's just not something that I could guarantee, because it's all based on availability. And since the majority of our trucks are Peterbilts, I just want you to be well aware of what that percentage would be. And I mean high, 90+%, over 90% are Peterbilts. So yeah, it kind of gives you an idea. But they're all extremely well equipped, including they all have televisions, the Epic View satellite TV programming, which gives me an opportunity to remind all of you that Epic View does have the Sunday ticket because we are considered commercial. We are a business entity, and that is part of the agreement. So I know a lot of you guys who may have had DirecTV at home may have lost your access to the NFL Sunday ticket since YouTube purchased the rights to that. However, they still provide it to the businesses through the Epic View. So we still have it. It is part of it. That's a huge win. It's a question we had to do a little bit of digging for, but you know what? Or at least for the answer. But you know what? We have it. This is a huge perk, and it's one of the reasons we have it. If you're wondering about college games, yes, ESPN is there. There's a couple ESPN channels, and of course CBS and NBC, and you'll probably need to scan for your TV, which is provided in the truck. You'll have to scan once you stop, and it'll pull those local channels as well in case you're looking for a specific college game, that maybe a local college game or something. So yeah, feel free, ask questions if you have them on the amenities. But yes, they all come well equipped with Epic View satellite TV, and the programming. So it's 100 plus channels. And then we have microwaves in all of the trucks. We have CBs in all of the trucks. I totally mimed that. We have CBs in all the trucks. We have free Wi-Fi, which is also part of our TransFlow Geotab system. So if you're looking to access the Wi-Fi, you'll just need to go into your TransFlow tablet and use the Wi-Fi on that out of the truck. We have refrigerators in the trucks. They are double bunk trucks, which is another huge plus when it comes to space, storage, or if you have a rider. Riders are ages 10 on up. And what else do we have? We have CVs. We do have both inward and outward facing event recorders, part of our lytic system, so we've got the full safety features. Air ride, both, obviously the driver's side is air ride, but we also have the passenger side seats are air ride. APUs, I don't think I mentioned that. APUs and inverters as well. Bunk heaters, of course, which will come in handy here very soon. And they're, like I said, completely well-equipped trucks. They have all kinds of amenities, Best Pass, DriveWise, and then the TransFlow Geotab system to communicate with your driver manager, to get your paperwork in, and all that good stuff. So your amenities, if I'm missing any, which wouldn't surprise me because there is a whole list, if I'm missing any, just feel free to ask and I'll be able to tell you yes or no. Do we have it? Do we not? Also with perks, we do allow dogs. So we have a dog policy. It's 80 pounds or less for one dog, 60 pounds or less for two dogs. And it's non-aggressive breeds. So we allow non-aggressive breed. And I think it's actually 85 pounds or less for one dog. But if they're non-aggressive breeds, it's a $500 deductible. Half of that is refundable at the end of when, if you decide not to bring your dog on or whatever. Anyways, don't want to go sad on that one. Anyways, the dog policy is available. It's $500 for that. And you do need to have a seat cover for the passenger side if you're going to, in order to qualify for the dog policy. At the Fort Dodge store, at the terminal there in Fort Dodge, there are seat covers available as well. But you don't have to get those specific ones. You can look and get them elsewhere as well for whatever make and model you have of truck that you're driving. The non-aggressive breeds, we do need to have all of the shot records and a photo of the dog as well. Or dogs, if you have two. Like I said, you can have two or more. It's non-aggressive breeds and they have to be less than 60 pounds combined. Chaffee Steam says, hey, I just got hired today, but I gotta wait until November 6th. November 6th! Oh man. Is it part of training? So that's fantastic. Actually, let's talk about, congratulations, by the way. Let's talk about the hiring process for those of you who are wondering. You can, first of all, you can apply directly online at drivedecker.com. And if you see, there you go, drivedecker.com, you'll see that down here on the lower third of this video. You'll see it pop up. That's where you can do the full application. It's in the upper right-hand corner, it says apply now. Click that sucker and you'll be able to apply. You can also just call one of the recruiters if you want to kind of get some information from them first. Make sure it's a good fit for you. Maybe you want to get pre-qualified. That's 877-433-2537. George says, I like my dogs on the hood. That's the Heavy Mac truck. So, yeah, yep. We also have, now I don't even remember what I was talking about. Hiring process. George, you're killing me. No, all in fun. So with the hiring process, you fill out your application, you'll talk to a recruiter, and they will get you pre-qualified to make sure that, well, they'll confirm that you are qualified. If you have any major moving violations, any DOT recordable accidents, those will disqualify you. You'll have to wait at least 3 years, some of them more than that if it was in a commercial vehicle, but at least 3 years before you'd qualify with a major moving violation or a DOT recordable accident, a preventable DOT recordable accident. I probably should mention that. So keep that in mind. If you've had too many jobs in the last several years, we also take that into consideration. I consider Decker an elite fleet by all means and by all areas, because we take a look at that. Not only are we looking for the most qualified individuals for the position, but we're also looking to take care of you in the most elite, most professional, most supportive way. And again, I gotta give our maintenance staff a huge shout out right now, because they do a phenomenal job of supporting our staff. And thank you, by the way, I think it was John that gave the shout out to, now he double whammied this in a good way. Shout out to our maintenance department, and he also gave a shout out to our safety department as well for the support that they give him and making it easy when he needs help or he needs answers. He can quickly go to them and get those. And that should be across the board. So if you guys have those questions or have those concerns, just know by the input that we're getting back from so many of our professional drivers, they are seeing that support, which is what we want. We want you to have that support when and where you need it. That's why we have the 24/7 maintenance, roadside assistance. That's why we have the 24/7 operations available to you. Now we've got the night ops. You have your main dispatcher, which would be, 7 to 4, 7 to 5 on Monday through Friday. But then you have the night ops who's there to support you throughout. So, but yes, anyways, if you have questions on it, please reach out to us. Once you get your application in and you get approved, so you've met the requirements, you're at least 21 years of age, you don't have any major moving violations or accidents, you don't have more than 2 tickets in the last 3 years, or incidents. And when I say incidents, I mean, I'm talking more like backing or just minor incidents, maybe a turning incident or something like that. Nothing DOT recordable, because that would disqualify you. But if you qualify for the position based off of that information, and of course where you live, don't underestimate the value of where you live. If you live in an area that's really high in freight for us, or at least the balance of freight and professional drivers in the area is in your favor, then it's within our hiring area, obviously. If you live in an area that we might not currently offer a position, just keep checking back with us, because those freight lanes do open up as freight is contracted. We are in the 90 percentile, 97 I think, percentile of contract freight. So yes, most of our freight is based off of contracts, both on the refrigerated side and flatbed. Speaking of refrigerated and flatbed, our dry van is full. I do want to acknowledge that. and our Conestoga position is full. But we do have some available positions, and I'll get to those here in just a minute as we get through the qualifying. So, and again, and once you've filled out your application, you've spoke to a recruiter, you've confirmed that you do qualify, you will get scheduled for orientation. So we do have orientations on Mondays, and it's a 3-day orientation, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's paid orientations, $500 for completing orientation. Now, if you're a student, this is going to be a different scenario. So as an experienced driver, it's a 3-day orientation. Once you've gone through the orientation, you'll have a good feeling of policies and procedures. You would have met several individuals. We also have an art ambassador program, which basically connects you with somebody in-house, somebody that's part of the supporting system, whether they're a recruiter or they're in maintenance or they're in safety, or but you've got somebody here in-house that you can call and just ask questions, because you know what? I know that in orientation, you are given a lot of information. And so you might have a lot of questions. You might have understood it, you might have heard it, but then with so much information coming at you in those 3 days, maybe 2 weeks down the road, you're like, I remember talking about that, but I don't remember what they said. Just give us a call. You guys, that's what we're here for. We are here to support you. You have your ambassadors. I know that I'm going to reach out to mine again this afternoon for all of my professional drivers who I'm their ambassador, so that we can touch base and just make sure, do you have questions, especially around scorecard time? It's your opportunity to educate yourself on what all of the qualifications are, what that criteria is, and how you can improve. So we're here to help you do that. We want to see you succeed, because you know what? If you're succeeding, then so are we. And that's what we're here for. All right. So off of that and back into orientation, it's a 3-day orientation. You'll get assigned your vehicle, your truck. You'll go through the maintenance with the maintenance staff on some of the basics. Running your APU unit is one of them, because a lot of times there's some troubleshooting tips and tricks that you might not be aware of otherwise. Speaking of, we do have a lot of that information available on our YouTube channel. So if you're looking for anything specific, come to our YouTube channel, search through it. APUs and chaining tires and things like that are really helpful. Speaking of, we do not require that you chain tires. We do require you know how to chain. And of course that you're carrying chains if you're driving out in areas that do require it, which would be the 1st of September to the 31st of May. Okay, so once you've completed that, then you are dispatched out and you are making some money for yourself. So, and again, we have the guaranteed that minimum pay, that safety net, and then we have the rate of pay per mile. So whichever is the better of the two for you that week is what you'll get paid every Friday, direct deposit. So again, if you have more questions, please reach out to us at 877-433-2537. We have expanded on our dedicated position out of Nashville, Arkansas. So if you are looking for something dedicated or home weekly out of Dallas or Monroe, Louisiana, so Dallas, Texas, Monroe, Louisiana, Houston, Texas, Shreveport, Nashville, Arkansas, or the Texarkana area, then we've got a good spot for you. This is a flatbed position, great miles, home weekly, great equipment. 877-433-2537. Talk to a recruiter, make sure you qualify. We do require, in this specific position, you have at least 1 year of flatbed experience. At the very least, 1 year of flatbed experience. And if you don't, then we do have refrigerated options out of pretty much all of those areas that I mentioned. So we have refrigerated as well that we can give you details on. We also have team opportunities. So if you're looking for a team position, we do have that. I think we just have one currently available. It is not a dedicated team position. It is over the road, and the rate of pay per mile just goes up with the miles that you have. So you've got your base of 60 cents a mile to the truck, and that's split. And then the more miles you guys run, the more you get, and that's paid out on the monthly bonus. So most of our teams, and I say most, but I should probably double check because I think it's all, of our drivers are running over the 20,000 mark, averaging over 25,000 per month, and therefore making an additional 8 cents a mile on all the miles that they accumulated over the month. They completed all dispatch miles, I should mention. So you'll get that payout as well. You also can qualify, even as a team, you can qualify for your scorecard and your safety bonuses. When you're qualifying as an individual. Even though you're a team driver, you're still qualifying as an individual. I do need to specify that because one team member may earn it, another may not. Or ideally both. All right, 877-433-2537 if you have more questions on that. We also have, I'm trying to think of all of the dedicated positions that we currently have available. I believe we have one more. Double checking. Give me a sec. Yes, I have the 8 p.m. slot open in our hopper position. So we have a hopper position. Yes, you do need to live in Fort Dodge, Iowa for that position specifically. And you're running from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska and back. It's roughly an 8-hour shift, and it's paid per shift. So it starts at 8 p.m. It starts you at $250 per shift. You get $250 per shift, Monday through Friday. If you're working a Saturday or Sunday, it would be $275 per shift. So it'll go up $25 per shift on the weekends. Here's how the schedule works. This is different than our other positions, so I'm going to be more detailed on it. It's 2 days on, followed by 2 days off. 3 days on, followed by 3 days off, and then back 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off. Every third weekend about, you should have a 3-day weekend. And that's, again, when you're working a Saturday or Sunday, it'll go up to $275 for that shift versus the $250 for the Monday through Friday runs. Okay, but it's hopper. It is slip seating, so again, that's different than our other positions. Slip seating means that when you get out of the truck, you're headed home. Somebody else will be driving that as well, so that truck keeps moving. And then, of course, when it gets brought in for maintenance, we're taking care of that for you as well. And that is a hopper position. That is our only current hopper position available. If you have questions on it, feel free to give us a call at 877-433-2537. George says, what do you evaluate the score, or what do you evaluate on the scorecard? Yeah, so there's 7 criteria, right? 7 criteria. First one, miles. Miles is one of them where you do need to meet a certain mileage per month in order to qualify for those points. And the mileage points are worth 150. 1,000 points is the max, okay? And then 150 of those are for mileage. You have 50 points that's for the fuel compliance. So, and there's different levels of it. So if you're 95 to 100% compliant, you're going to get 50 points. So the full 50 points for that one. If there's different levels, but you could get 40 points or 10 points based on the percentage of compliance. If you're less than 75% compliant, then you won't earn any points for the fuel compliance. And again, the total is 50 points for that one. Idle time is worth 200 points. This is a big one. We have APUs in all of the trucks. We have smart idle trucks. Not all of the trucks are smart idle, but some of them are. So idle is a big one for us, and it can save, especially with the cost of fuel, can save us quite a bit. That's why it's worth so much, and that's why we pay as much as we do right back to you in the bonuses, because what you save us is what we're able to pay out there. So idle is worth 200 points. Then we have so miles, idle, fuel compliance, what am I missing? CSA violations and preventable accidents. If you have a CSA violation or if you have a preventable accident for that week, then you automatically lose those points. And those are both worth 200 points each. Claims, if you had a claim, that's worth 100 points. If you had a driver's service failure, that's worth 100 points. So again, if those are you've got fuel compliance and you've got idle time, which is gauged, and miles as well, which is gauged. You'll have a percentage of those 100 points or those 50 points, those 150 or the 200 points. Whereas CSA violations, preventable accidents, claims, service failures, those are you either have it or you forfeit it. You've either earned it or you forfeit it based off of having one. So does that make sense? It's 1,000 point total. You're hiring solo out of Spring, Texas. Yes, we are. For Spring, I gotta double check. What's the zip code there? 77373. Does that sound right? Give me a sec here. Let me just confirm. Right? Yeah. So there we do have Troy. You're welcome, George. Troy, we do have solo positions out of there. Are you looking for refrigerated or are you looking for flatbed? So with the flatbed position that I have out of there, that one is home every other weekend. So because usually with flatbed you're seeing like Friday night or Saturday morning, then back out either Sunday night or Monday morning. So that's the norm for flatbed. If you're thinking of refrigerated, we do also have solo available in the refrigerated division, but you can decide to stay out. Do you want to stay out 7 days at a time, 11 days at a time, 2-3 weeks at a time? You'll have a little bit more, you'll have more wiggle room there. And then for every 7 days you're out, it's a day and a half home time. So if you're out for 7 days, you're home for 2. If you're out for 11, you're home for 3. If you're out for 3 weeks, you're home for 4 days. Things like that. Okay, 77388. Okay, so yeah. Troy, same thing. I've got over-the-road flatbed. I do have teams, but as solo positions, I have over-the-road flatbed, and then I have home every 7 days, every 11 days, every 3 weeks available to you. So it's up to you what you prefer. If one of those sounds like what you're looking for, then I definitely suggest calling into the recruiting department at 877-433-2537, and then you can speak to a recruiter directly on more specifics on that position. That way, more less back and forth, I should say, on, well, what about this and what about that? Instead of giving you every scenario and just bombarding you with a tidal wave of it, they can just really narrow in on what you want, what you're looking for, and make sure that we have it. So you're very welcome, George. Yeah, so those are the dedicated. We've of course got over the road refrigerated as well, and we have over the road flatbed. We have some home weekly flatbed positions. So if you live in areas of Iowa, okay, bear with me. Let's visualize. Let's imagine you're looking at a map here, okay? So you've got Iowa City to St. Louis, Missouri, over towards Columbus, Ohio, up north to Toledo, Ohio, and then all the way over to Chicago, north to Milwaukee, back down to Mason City, Iowa, down to Fort Dodge, Iowa, and then further down to Iowa City. Okay, you have connected this area, right? Everything in between is what we have available in our home weekly flatbed, Midwest flatbed position. It does guarantee a minimum of $1,450 a week, so $1,450 a week, but it's also the rate of pay per mile. So if your rate of pay per mile exceeds that, if your rate of pay per mile and the miles you run exceed that guarantee of $1,450, you'll get the better of the two, just like any of our other divisions, but it's $1,450 in that specific division. And we can train for flatbed if you don't have flatbed experience for that one. Now, our over-the-road flatbed division, that's a different story. We do require you have at the very least 6 months of flatbed experience or at least a year of tractor trailer before we start training for that one. Colin says, how many miles a week can reefer drivers get? It depends. It definitely depends on the one that you're looking for. If you are, or on the one you're looking for, it depends on the one, on the home time that you're looking at, is what I meant to say. So if you are home every 5 days, because we do have some areas that are home every 5 days, then your miles are significantly going to be different than someone who's out 21 days at a time. If you're out 21 days at a time, you're looking at 2,800 miles a week. Where if you're home every 5 days, you're probably looking under 2,000 a week, right around the 1,900 a week is what I would expect if you're home every 5 days in the refrigerated division. And then, of course, there's middle ground. If you're out 7 days or out 11 days or whatever, you're going to fall in between there. But Colin, that's a really good question, because for those drivers who are new to the industry, that might be something that's overlooked. You might expect to get the same mileage on, and be home every 5 days than somebody who's out 3 weeks at a time. And it's not usually the case. Doesn't mean it can't be, but it's not usually, because oftentimes if you're getting home every 5 days or every 7 days, you might be cutting a load short in order to get home. So whether we're dropping that load at a terminal and having somebody deliver it, or you're bringing the truck home with you and you'll deliver it afterwards, those are all scenarios that could happen, during your home time that would, or to get you to abide by your home time, so that would affect your miles. And yeah, well, I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not doing a very good job of saying it. But it does affect your miles, because if you don't have a specific load to your house, which you probably won't, I mean, that's not the norm, at least. You're probably going to have to trade that load to get it off in order to get you home. And that's what's going to cut into your miles. But a lot of people who are new to the industry, they don't recognize that. Also, because most of the positions that I'm talking about are not dedicated positions, that's another reason why you're not going straight to the house. Straight to the house would be usually on dedicated ones, with a load straight to house is what I'm saying. That being said, you can bring the truck and trailer to the house on the home time. The only exception is Montana, but we are planning the loads, getting you to the house, getting the tractor and trailer to the house on your home time. Well, that was a struggle for me, I tell you what. I was having a hard time explaining that. Colin, or anybody else who's asking that question, if I didn't do a very good job of explaining, I can definitely rewind and do a better job. But yeah, for miles wise, it depends on the division that you're looking at. Flatbed are usually stronger miles, refrigerated is usually higher miles than flatbed. However, our OTR flatbed has definitely been seeing some great miles, and our home weekly in the flatbed has a higher guaranteed minimum than some of our other divisions. So hopefully that answers your question, probably with a whole lot more information than you were looking for. All right. Any other questions on the miles or pay or anything like that? If not, we're coming up on the hour, so I can let you be. I just want to make sure that I answered those questions for you. We talked about amenities, we talked about benefits, and some of the available positions. Colin says, yeah, are the reefer driver minimum pay different for flatbed? Yes. Yes, the rate of pay per mile for the refrigerated division is different than flatbed, and so is the minimum pay. So let me give you a few scenarios, okay? I mentioned the flatbed division that guarantees $14.50 a week. That is our current highest minimum, is that home weekly one for our Midwest flatbed. Okay, so that's $14.50. Your rate of pay per mile is anywhere from 56 to 70 cents a mile in our flatbed division, based on experience level. Okay, so the years of experience that you have. Now, our over-the-road flatbed division, even though you are likely to make more in that division per week, the minimum is $1,000 a week. Your rate of pay per mile, again, 56 to 70 cents a mile, based on experience. But the guarantee is different. Part of the reason is the freight amount that we have in those areas that I mentioned are higher, and those loads that you'll be running in that Midwest 1450 area are going to be shorter runs, so you're stacking loads a lot quicker, or there are some more wait times, possible in those as well. So we're accounting for that in that $14.50 minimum pay. Whereas the over the road flatbed, you are more likely to get the miles in than you would be that $14.50. So that's why the difference there. Now with the refrigerated division, there are different minimums there. If you're only going to be out 5 days at a time, and then home for 2, the minimum pay on that one is $700. The rate of pay per mile is going to be the same as our other refrigerated divisions, anywhere from 55 to, and when I'm giving you quotes, I'm not counting student pay. This is just experienced drivers, someone with at least 6 months of experience. So 55 to 65 cents a mile for the refrigerated division. But again, the minimum pay for somebody who's staying out 5 days out at a time is a $700 minimum versus a $1,000 minimum for someone who's staying out 7 or 11 or 3 weeks at a time. You have a higher minimum. But again, your rate of pay per mile is still a reflection of your amount of experience, your years of experience, 55 to 65 cents a mile. With the refrigerated division, you do get a penny raise after 90 days. You also get a penny raise every year on your anniversary till you hit the cap of 70. With flatbed, you will get a penny raise after 90 days and a penny raise every year on your anniversary until you hit the cap of 70. So if you start at 70, you're at the cap. Excuse me. So you're already at the cap, and there's no reason to, or not no reason, but there's no raise at that point. So whether it be at 6 months or a year. However, you do qualify for the sign-on bonus. You do qualify for the monthly bonuses, and every time we do a pay increase, then obviously that will be factored in as well. Driver minimum pay. So yeah, I think that answered your question. All right, any other questions that I might be able to answer for you guys? If not, that's what the telephone number is for, 877-433-2537. I'm just going to close up the live here. If you guys have, thank you, Colin. Thank you, you too. If you guys have more questions, you can either put them in the chat in the replay. I'll continue to answer them. And I hear that there's a new feature where I can answer with a video, so I can do that for you as well. Otherwise, call our recruiting department, 877-433-2537, and they can answer your questions specifically for you. So have a wonderful rest of your week. If you see one of our maintenance staff, please give them a huge shout out and thank you, and let them know how much you appreciate them. And hopefully you can sneak in for some pizza or a cookout throughout the week. Let's see, Wednesdays and Fridays this week at our terminals is when we'll be having those. And cheer on your favorite tech for the drawings. And I can't remember, I don't know what day the drawing is. I think it's on Friday, but cheer them on and hopefully you enjoy. So thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you next week at noon Central here on our YouTube channel, and every Monday at 4 p.m. Central on our Facebook. Have a great rest of your week, you guys.